Well, let's see if I can remember how to do this shit, huh? Hey guys, so, a long time no see. My heart's going like 1,000 miles an hour. I have not done this in so long. It's been 2 years since you looked at me. No, I'm not gonna do that. 15th May 2018 was when I last made a video, and a lot of shit's happened since then. So I've been contemplating getting back on my booktube bullshit for a while. Initially, when I stopped making videos, it was just going to be for a while to get through what was going on. But then I just kind of was never really ready to get back to it. But I figured, if not now, when the whole world seems to be stopping and terrifying, then when? So, fuck it. So since my last video, a hell of a lot's happened in my whole life. I'm not going to give you the full kind of life story, but not long after I made my last video, my dad died, which was shit. When I've thought about doing this video, I've thought, like, how much do I say, how much do I want to say, how much do I have to say, how much do I need to say, and I still don't really know. Definitely having a situation where I'm not sure what's coming out of my mouth until it's coming out of my mouth, so at least that's not changed. Definitely the shittest thing that's happened to me in my life so far. Literally watching your dad die is no fun. See, it's weird, like, talking about it, I don't know how flippant I'm allowed to be. Don't know how much as I say, don't know how much I should be saying. But yeah, basically that's what happened. My relationship at the time became a non-relationship, and that also sucked, coming so soon after my dad dying. And yeah, life just kind of went to shit for a while. As I say, I stepped away from BookTube because it was by no means the most important thing going on in my life at the time, and I didn't have the headspace for it. And I've thought about getting back to it many, many times. It was something I loved doing, something I had a passion for, something that was fun. But the idea of going back to it and picking it up again for so long, I think it became like this thing that was the old me, and going back to the bit of me before Dad died was really sort of painful to think about, and I didn't really know how I felt about it, and I still don't. This may not ever, I might not properly kind of come back to BookTube. This may be I don't know, but I don't have to quantify it. I don't have to kind of plan ahead. Fuck it, like, what's the point in planning anything at the minute? So I'm not gonna. So yeah, I got to thinking today, and I thought, well, let's just try it. Let's just see if I can remember how to do this, you know? After a little while of sort of not even watching any videos, I kind of was thinking, am I even allowed to get back into BookTube? I'm not reading as much, I'm not watching as much, I'm not engaging as much. Am I allowed to do it? But you know what, like, this doesn't have to be a full-on kind of BookTube channel anymore. I can just do whatever the hell I want, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm doing loads better at the minute, aside from, let's just put kind of current world circumstances to one side at the moment. For anyone who gives a shit, yeah, I'm doing loads better at the minute. I'm not working at the bookshop anymore. I haven't been for a while. I did try going back after Dad died, and but I just sort of found that, again, that was another kind of pre-Dad dying thing. And to be honest with you, I was ready to move on from working in the bookshop anyway. I'd been starting to apply for jobs, starting to think about what was next for me anyway. And then after Dad died, it was just kind of, I can't do this. I needed to take some time out to, God, this sounds so wanky, but to kind of figure myself out and sort myself out, take some time for me. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been in therapy for 1.5 years now. I've been sort of working on myself, and don't get me wrong, I know that I'm incredibly lucky to be able to do that. I'm living at home with my mum, and I have some sort of savings to fall back on. Again, not that I have to justify it, like, it's my life, it's what I'm able to do. I know others aren't, but I have been able to do it, and I've been incredibly grateful for that. So I'm doing good at the moment. And then, yeah, current world circumstances are shit and frightening, incredibly frightening. And if you're not taking it seriously, you're a dick, you're an idiot. Just take it seriously. My mum technically falls into one of the at-risk groups, so I'm incredibly worried about her and trying not to kind of go OTT. But yeah, so please just take it seriously and be safe and just don't be a dick and be kind. Like, all of the fucking stockpiling and yeah. I'd like to think that most of the people that would be watching this are decent people anyway and kind people, so you guys just keep doing what you're doing. This is kind of coming back naturally to me, but also kind of not. It's weird. Yeah, so I'm back on that bullshit, so that's fine. So this video would be like a year long if I sat and went through everything I've read since the last video I did 2 years ago, so I ain't gonna do that to you. I've kept like a rough track on my Goodreads just for me, but I don't think it's sort of accurate at all. I've probably missed stuff off, and yeah. My reading tastes have definitely changed dramatically, and what I'm finding at the moment is in my big sort of library full of books, occasionally I look at it and I look at my shelves and I look at all these books that I got when I was working at the bookshop and got when I really wanted to read them, and some of them I'm looking at now thinking, do I want to read you now? Are you the kind of book that I actually like anymore? That's the changing in my taste is kind of slightly leading to almost like a little bit of resentment and guilt for having bought so many books, but I'm trying to work through that because this is a library that I've got my whole life to read, and you know, we've got however long all of this shit takes to sit in and read books. I've been reading a lot more fantasy novels lately, for escapism, I guess. It's always been something, like I've read fantasy books before, my dad was a big fantasy reader, but it's always been something that I kind of had to really be in the mood for. Whereas I think at the moment, some of the books that were more my taste, that were more, I don't know, wanky, some of them I just found a bit too dense. My head wasn't in the place for dense, thoughtful things about real life. I needed something that was totally, you know, dragons and magic and stuff that doesn't stand a chance of actually happening in real life, but was something that I could get into. So that's what I've been reading more of lately. One that I've absolutely loved and I really want to read again is Samantha Shannon's The Orange Tree and the Priory. I would show my copy of that book, but I've actually lent it to my best friend, which is rare, actually lending books, but it was so good. One other book that I have read during my time away that I absolutely loved, and would have been one that if I was still doing BookTube, I probably would have ended up doing like 7 videos just on, is Sally Rooney's Normal People. Anyone who's still been following me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, that won't be a surprise that I am mentioning this book. I loved it. I loved it in a way, though, when I was reading it, there were parts of it I was like, oh, this is not a good time for me to be reading this so soon after a breakup. Things were just sort of hitting me really too hard for me to kind of necessarily cope with perfectly. But it was just so beautiful, and I've reread it a couple of times since, and I'm equal parts excited and really nervous for the TV adaptation, so I'm crossing my fingers that that's going to be good, please and thank you. Like, I'm so not used to talking about books. It's been nearly 2 years since I've properly been talking about books. Well, a year and a half since I stopped working in the bookshop. And don't get me wrong, there are big parts of me that really miss working in the bookshop. I miss the people that I worked with, I miss the books and working with the books every day. I miss so many of my regulars and some of my irregulars too. No, that was not funny. But there was also stuff that I don't miss anymore. Emily Pine's Note to Self as well was another one that I read, a non-fiction book of essays that I read, and it was like being punched in the gut, but nicely, if that makes any kind of sense. It doesn't. It was like a punch in the gut that went up through to the heart and landed in a way that was kind of like, oh shit, somebody else gets some of these feelings, and also some of these feelings that, you know, oh shit, I have no concept of what this feels like, but somehow through her writing you do get an idea of some of these feelings. I don't know, like I say, out of practice talking about books. Lanny by Max Porter, I just adored. It's beautiful. Go and read it. It was another one of those that I got the special edition hardback when it came out, because it's another one of those that, and one video that I will probably do at some point is give a tour of the newer, improved library room that I now have, and it's one that is on my sort of shelf of books that mean a lot to me, that I've then gone overboard and got way more editions of it than I needed. Erin Kelly, The Poison Tree, that was a book that got me out of another kind of reading slump. I'd gone maybe a full month without reading anything, just couldn't make anything stick, didn't really care about anything, picked up The Poison Tree, and oh my days, that is a romp. It's awesome, and you guys know how much I love Erin Kelly's He Said, She Said, which I can still say, yay! And not long before I kind of went offline and everything happened, I was lucky enough to do an event at the bookshop with Erin Kelly and Sarah K. Vaughan, author of Anatomy of a Scandal, and Erin is just one of the loveliest humans, and it was a real pleasure to meet her and stumble my way through an event with her and be incredibly unprofessional and awful. But yeah, The Poison Tree got me out of such a slump, and yeah, thank you, Erin, for your books. Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta. It's a YA sort of retelling of the Once and Future King, and it's just nuts, and it's awesome, and it's just... It's wild, it's cute, it's nice, it says a lot, the characters are just awesome. It's one I'm probably going to reread over this period of time because it's one that it's so readable, and I hate when people use readable or try and use readable as kind of like a thinly veiled insult, and that is definitely not the case with this book. So readable, I think I gobbled it up in like a day. It's just awesome. Totally not something I probably would have picked up a few years ago, but hey, tastes change, and I got the taste for that book. What else have I read? The whole of the Witcher series. I've never played the games. The Netflix series came on and I watched that and I thought, okay, I'll give the books a try. I had already read the first couple when the series came out, and then I picked up from where I left off. The series of books is good. I would say it starts to drag towards the end. It gets a bit too bogged down in sort of all the wars that are going on, and kind of the main narrative thrust of the main characters kind of gets a little bit lost. And the last couple of books I found myself reading going and literally skipping bits, which I never really do, but skipping whole chunks of the book because I wanted to get to the main characters and I didn't really care about any of the other stuff going on. I think for me, the Witcher series ended up falling into that trap that I think some fantasy novels, and again, still don't really have much kind of authority to talk about fantasy novels, but for me, that trap of the author knowing the world so well and wanting to show you how well they know the world and how much of a kind of history and scope and everything they've got for this world they've created, but they go kind of overboard telling you about it. But there are some books, like I think Brandon Sanderson, from the little of his that I read, is one that does it well. He knows all the shit. He knows the world that it's set in, and he writes with the authority of knowing that, but he doesn't bombard you with, here are all the countries in this world, here are all the people, here are all the different races, here are all the different counties and towns and things, and you must know all about them, and here's every blow through a war. And I think, yeah, for me, the Witcher books kind of fell into that trap a little bit towards the end. A non-fiction one that I read, which I absolutely loved, was In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. You may remember I raved about her book of short stories, which the name has literally just flown out of my head. Her Body and Other Stories, that was it. Absolutely loved that collection of short stories. Totally stonking, and I'd been hearing about her sort of semi-autobiographical non-fiction work. Very, very excited about it. Saw Alice Slater raving about it, picked up a copy, blitzed through it in a matter of days. Again, it's another one that just kind of grabs you by the heart and doesn't let go, and it's just gorgeous, and I think you should read it. I think I've forgotten how to recommend books. I can't do it smooth no more. So that's kind of where I've been at with my reading lately. In and out, as I say, not read anywhere near as much in the last 2 years as I had previous. But, you know, it's not a competition. I read in what I read when I want to read it, and that's that. Obviously, I read the new Ali Smith, or have there been 2 out since I last did a video? I can't remember now. But you all know how I worship at the altar of Queen Ali Smith, and loved those, and I'm very, very excited for the final instalment, and I think that's coming out really soon, and I think it's going to be very, very much needed. So yeah, that's kind of I guess a catch-up of my life, and I'm back? We shall see. You know, I kind of forgot how much I enjoyed doing this, and the more I've done this video, it's kind of come back to me. So if you guys will still have me, then yeah, I might make this more of a regular thing again. I don't know how regular, obviously, like most sensible people who are staying indoors, I'm gonna have a lot more time on my hands lately. But we shall see. I don't have to fill all of it doing videos, do I? So we'll see what comes of this, whether it's all bookish videos, whether I sprinkle it with some other stuff, I don't know. There's other stuff that I've got into over the last year. That's a 3D printer there, got into that. I've been playing more Dungeons and Dragons, which is just awesome and lots of fun, and yeah. I want to say thank you as well to those people that noticed I was gone, and those that knew what was going on, and didn't, and the few messages that I kind of got after I stopped filming that I wasn't really in a place to reply to because I kind of didn't know what to say. But thank you for the people who sort of said they missed me and missed my videos and things like that. And for people who sort of, you know, kept in touch and have still just sort of been there. Thank you. It means a lot when shit happens and people are there. And that's the important thing about now, I guess, as well. You know, the whole got to stay apart physically and come together more sort of socially and in kindness and things like that. Things like this are shit and horrible, but do remind you what's important and what's sort of vital to life, and that's friends and family, kindness, and just finding pleasure where you can as well. I think at this time it's important that you don't deprive yourself of things that bring you joy and trying new things. I mean, I've been trying over the last 18 months, I've been trying meditation, and I never thought that would be for me, and I don't always get it right. But that's the thing, like I always thought it was a thing that you have to do right or wrong. But it's whatever works for you, and apps like Calm and Headspace and things like that, they're going to be really important over the coming weeks, months. So try new things. You're going to have time on your hands. If there's one thing I've learned over the last 2 years, it's that you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. And you've just got to find enjoyment out of whatever you enjoy. And you don't always know if you're going to enjoy something. And all the little things that you've maybe thought about trying, whether it's, you know, I don't know, doodling or knitting or I don't know, I can't think of examples now, but try them. Try things that you've always thought, oh, really, it's not for me. Just try them, because you may find there's something in them that is for you. Yeah, I don't know. I can still chat shit, that's not changed. So like I say, if you guys all have me back, then I'll be back. Doing whatever on here. If there's anything in particular you guys would kind of like to see me talk about, I'm not a dancing monkey. I'm not a performing monkey. Definitely not a dancing monkey. No. I am a monkey. Am I? Am I a monkey? I was born in May, 92. Am I a monkey? I think I am a monkey. Anyway, I'm not that chicken thing. Does anybody else remember that chicken thing when they were in school, where you supposedly like told it what to do and it would like dance, but it was obviously fake? Wow, that was tucked away in my memory. Did not realise that was there. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in particular you guys would like to hear me chat about, then, you know, let me know in the comments down below. Wow, that's like a muscle I haven't flexed in a long time. Then yeah, just comment and tell me what shit you'd like me to chat. So yeah, that's me kind of back. Missed you guys, missed doing this. And yeah, see you soon.